Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Fridays ski industry news videos. Opening day for Stowe Mountain Resort.
Yep, we got to go skiing at Stowe today. That was really fun.
Yeah, my legs are tired.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, kind of sloppy conditions.
It's like spring skiing all over again.
Yeah, it's right what we ended with.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was like high of, 50? The mountain might not have hit 50
it was
today,
cooler
but
up there, but it was pretty warm.
Yeah. So great to be back on snow. Hopefully we will have some on snow content to share with everybody sooner than later. Couple more, well, more than a couple, probably 4 or 5 more comparison videos to get through.
There's a lot of categories.
Yep. This is narrow twin tip behind us, so that's what you'll see next, and then we're doing another one with Emily next week. I think that's women's mid-80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after that, it's men's powder and a narrow front side.
It's like the real extremes.
The extremities,
Yeah.
Yep. In other kind of housekeeping news, we did start, officially, I think our website says Black Friday today.
I saw it. It is Friday.
Yeah. So Black Friday sales start today. Those will continue for realistically the next 10 days, I think, through Cyber Monday. Bob, I don't think you're aware of this, but we're going to do another live Black Friday Top 5 Fridays video next week.
I'm in.
And there's rumor that we're giving a ski away.
That sounds like a fun rumor.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled. It'll probably come through in a newsletter or social media post, but if I'm able to, we'll make an announcement on YouTube as well. It should be some kind of sign-up procedure, and then at the end of that video, we can give some skis away.
I mean, we took a walk through the warehouse today, and the amount of discounted skis at prices were really good. We came up with some good lists of good deals.
Yes. The list itself is good.
Yeah.
But I would give a subtle warning that we're not deep in inventory.
Right. Yeah, sizes might be
Yep. And I
wary.
think certain skis, some of those skis that you and I identified as really, really good deals, they may not last super long.
Get them now.
I say that with hesitancy because, you never really know, but, excuse me, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah.
I can barely talk. Bob, anything else you got before we get into the industry news?
I don't think so.
Okay, so kicking things off, really feels like winter because we've got some FIS World Cup updates. Tough start to the season for the men.
And this is after the whole glacier debacle, right?
Of, digging up the glacier.
Digging the glacier. Now there's too much snow and they can't have races.
I think it was mostly wind.
Yeah.
But anyways, the men's races have pretty much all been canceled due to weather issues. Women, on the other hand, have certainly been keeping busy. This past weekend, they were in Levi, Finland for 2 slalom races, and Mikaela Schifrin got her 7th reindeer, Bob.
That's a lot more reindeers than I have.
Yeah. As a reminder, she does not take them home. That was something that we really spent a long time researching last year. No, Mikaela Schifrin does not have a reindeer farm in... Where does Mikaela Schifrin live?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I feel like I should know. Vale? Is she from Vale? Why am I blanking on this?
I'm not entirely sure.
Anyways, did I mention the name of said reindeer?
No, not here.
Grogu.
I like that one.
Me too. So if people out there are fans of The Mandalorian, they'll know who Grogu is. If they're not, they probably do anyways, but maybe they know Grogu as Baby Yoda.
I think everyone's seen something about Baby Yoda.
You think Grogu has made its way into pop culture?
Not as much as Baby Yoda.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. She was also 4th in the Saturday slalom. So a great start to the season for Miss Schifrin. And that's it. Kind of continuing on that theme, however, Killington received the green light from like the snow control organization. So that means that we are a go for the Killington World Cup. That's not this weekend, that is next weekend. And yeah, looking forward to it. It's always fun to watch.
It's just amazing that they can put down like World Cup level snow in whatever time period they're allowed.
Yeah, so I was down there last weekend, as I think I mentioned in last week's video. Yeah, I did, because some people grabbed me in the lift line and said hi, so thanks for doing that. That's always really, I don't know, brightens my day when somebody's like, hey, I watched your video, you said to say hi. And it's like pretty mind-blowing, just looking up at Superstar and seeing all the snow guns.
It's an impressive operation they have.
It doesn't look like they could possibly fit one more snow gun. Like how many there are just like up the hill. It's truly incredible. And one of the skiers that I was in Killington with is a snowmaker, not in Killington, here in Stowe. And it was really interesting, like getting his opinion.
Right.
Like, you know, it's easy for me to look at something and be like, whoa, but when he was like, that's insane. I was like, oh, okay.
If you know the nuts and bolts and have an intimate knowledge of
yeah.
what it takes to do that.
Yeah. He was also saying, we'll leave his name out of this in case like this gets back to him and then like somebody's mad. But he was saying that his understanding of how they make snow for this event at Killington is they just go like full bore, like complete willingness to break things.
Right.
Where like it's the opposite at Stowe. Like they're so careful and reserved not to like blow out a gun somewhere. But in Killington they just break stuff all the time, and they have a whole like crew of people on site, like welders on site, to just go up and fix guns to get them back in.
Yeah, I mean they get after it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's very impressive. So that's exciting. I don't know if I'll make it down for the race, but there's always the potential.
Yep.
Not far away. And then kind of continuing along the competition theme here, this certainly made some waves in the freestyle free skiing world. FIS has mandated the use of poles in all basically park and pipe competitions. So slopestyle, big air, half pipe. You gotta use your poles.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
I kind of like the strategy and the difference of people that choose to or choose not to.
Yeah.
And what they're giving up and what they're gaining.
Right. And it was for a long time, and it continues to be, it's kind of hard. It's hard to answer that question of like who actually has an advantage, and it does create an interesting conversation for sure. But the fact that that's the way it's been has also undeniably created some like challenging situations where it can be tough to judge.
Yeah.
It's just, it's tricky. And I think like what I've been most fascinated by is I would have expected more backlash from like the true core park culture. And it seems like people, for the most part, are generally understanding.
Like a stringent no poles athlete, you're surprised at how little they're pushing back or
more
protesting.
The overall attitude among park skiers of like, this sport is about freedom.
Right.
Freedom of choice, and like don't confine us into certain rules, because then it takes away the spirit of the sport in general.
I mean, I see that argument, but
yeah,
equipment's a different thing. You know, it's.
I think so too.
Like there has to be some conformity within competition.
Yeah, like you probably have to have 2 skis.
Right.
Is that written in the rules? Like, can I enter a free ski event on a snowboard?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Can a snowboarder enter an event with poles?
Can a snowboarder enter a ski event by just carrying another snowboard?
Yeah, I mean,
we're asking the real questions.
I know. And we had a funny discussion the other day of like, how short do your poles have to be? Like, can you have 2-inch poles?
Like, can you just have grips?
Right. Or grips with a Yeah, just a
point.
nub of a tip
Yeah.
sticking out, or
I think we could probably answer all these questions.
yeah,
But it's a little bit more fun to
to speculate and
guess.
and guess to see like maybe the athletes are going to come up with something interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be interesting to kind of watch
Yeah.
how this season progresses. But yeah, I'm for, at least for me, as somebody who has come up through the park skiing world and is still pretty involved, I think it was a good thing.
All right.
So if somebody wants to leave a bunch of comments yelling at me, you're always welcome to do so. And sometimes people do. And then last topic of the week, we got another industry kind of overview report from the Storm Skiing Journal. This one was focused mostly on which resorts are owned by a multi-mountain operator. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I had to read it a couple times though, but I think you got the wording right.
I think I did too. I just wanted, I meant more like, does that make sense to everybody? Are we all on board of this concept?
Yes, I get it.
So I thought these stats were really interesting, and we were chatting about it in our office before we started filming. 73% of all ski resorts in the United States are independently owned.
I was surprised to hear that number.
I would have guessed 50
Yeah.
or 55 or maybe even 45.
I mean, just based on what you hear, it seems like
Right.
it would be
Right.
a lot less.
Totally. I mean, Alterra and Vail Resorts kind of dominate the industry news, as we know,
Yeah.
because we talk about them a lot.
I think we underestimate just the sheer amount,
Of ski areas.
Yeah, like New York State has like 50 ski areas.
There are like 500 something in the United States. So, anyways, more interesting stats. 24 conglomerates in the United States own at least 2 ski areas.
Yeah.
That's more than I would have guessed as well. I would have guessed like 8.
I thought there were less conglomerates.
Yeah. So,
But 2 doesn't really, 2 is not that's just an advanced hobby.
yeah, fair enough. But I don't know. I suppose my immediate initial reaction to this is that's good.
That there's independence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that things are spread out more than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Less of a monopolization over ski resort management. Are you ready for more interesting stats?
Hit me.
8 conglomerates own 5 or more. Could you possibly name all 8? I couldn't even come close.
Alterra, Vail, Boyne.
You're doing pretty good.
That's it.
Powder? Does Powder still? I don't think
I
they
don't know.
still...
Probably missing a few obvious ones, but
American Skiing Company.
American
they're long
Skiing.
gone. Really dating myself now. Good old Les Otten. 2 own 4.
Okay.
Thought that was interesting. 6 own 3. And then the remaining 8 own 2.
Yeah.
So there's only 8 that own 2.
Right.
They're the hobbyists, right?
They're
That's what you said?
hobbyists. Yeah.
They're ski resort operator
they
hobbyists.
They bought a resort. It was a good feel for them, a good fit, and they got another
Yeah,
just to
sure.
double up their fun.
Yeah. Like kind of how I need another Miata.
Right. There's no sense in having one. If you know you like it, you got to have another.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and if anybody's really into that stuff, I would encourage you to click through and check out that article. And then big week for edits. First we have Revenge of the Topside Boys, which is much more of a full movie than an edit. Pretty good. I didn't get through all of it, but some impressive skiing.
Scary, just scary stuff.
Big mountain, scary stuff. And then this is much different. We had Flip the Gates featuring David Meyer from Head. Looked like so much fun.
I thought you would like this one.
Yeah.
There weren't any rails. I was expecting some rails.
I would like to swap out all of the backflips in this edit for rails and cork sevens.
Maybe that'll be the sequel to
But
this.
if I'm allowed to do that, then I'm game.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then we've got another pretty much full movie. This is the Polar Star from the 50, and it's a solid 44 and a half minutes long.
Yeah, and just the mountaineering aspect of these things is crazy. You know, like they're going up the couloir or whatever, and they're like getting more and more sketched out as they go, but they just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, just snow analysis and stuff like that.
It's like, I think that's the appeal.
That's the appeal.
For most people that
Yeah.
are into that kind of thing is you have to be really analytical and safety focused and
Yeah, they're pushing it.
go through all the correct steps.
Yeah.
And then we've got Loose Operation. This was put together by a local UVM crew as a UVM alumni and one of the founders of the UVM freestyle team. Good job.
Yep. Good to see college kids applying themselves.
Yeah.
That's how I spent my years.
Yeah. No, I couldn't help but think that too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of work went into this. I
Yep.
wonder if you guys are putting this much into your schoolwork.
Right.
Oh, I just sound old and curmudgeon-y. And then lastly, we have Mac forehand sliding a rail upside down, which was super cool. Did you happen to see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
It was bouncing around social media
Yeah.
the past couple days. Pretty cool.
Well, it's the type of thing that you see and you're like, never seen that before.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. If you were to slide a rail upside down, would you do a switch rodeo 5?
No, I don't think so.
What else would you do? It seemed like that worked the best.
Yeah.
There's what else could work? Like flat 3 wouldn't really work. Like rodeo.
Like a Lincoln loop to 50-50 it.
Well, like a rodeo 5 could kind of work, but it would be scary because you'd have to like stop for a while and then finish spinning. The way that he did like the switch rodeo 5, it made it.
Made the
Sometimes
most
I watch
sense.
things like that and I'm like, that makes sense.
Right.
Yep,
That's the only way you could do it.
that's the way you would do it, and
Yep.
I like feel the.
Right.
Does that ever happen to you with random sports and things? Like you watch something and you're like, oh, I can feel how that would work.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how I felt watching his Switch Rodeo 5 upside down rail slide. I was like, yeah, of course. Easy. And that's it.
All right.
Going skiing again tomorrow.
All right. I'll probably do the afternoon shift. A couple runs up there.
Yeah, tomorrow might be interesting. A little rain overnight.
Perfect.
But then like dropping to freezing, I think, right before the mountain opens.
Sounds just about right.
Could it be a delayed opening?
No. People
You
don't
you
care.
think so? Skiers don't care, but
Skiers don't care.
Risk management, loss prevention people, they care.
Yeah, they like to run a groomer over refrozen stuff.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, well.
I'll keep my fingers crossed that it stays warm. I think.
Yep.
Either that or gets cold enough by like midnight. But
And
I
then
don't like
turns to snow.
I don't like the odds of that happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, so if you're at Stowe tomorrow, look for me in the morning or look for Bob in the afternoon. And yeah, excited to be back on snow.
Totally.
So hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.